Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another movie review. Today we're going to be looking at Sinister. I watched it with you guys in a movie reaction last week. So if you want to watch it with me, be sure to check it out. I'll leave the video down in the description below. And before we hop into the video itself, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as well as I'm going to give a spoiler warning and a jump scare warning for this video. I plan on including some of the jump scares that were in the movie from the movie in today's video. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you want to see more reviews videos like this, or if you want me to stick to the just reactions, or if you want me to stick to gaming, because I've been doing gaming live streams recently and you guys seem to be really enjoying those. So I guess without further ado, let's hop right in.
Family Drama was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
So I want to start off by not even talking about the scares, not even talking about the quality of the movie, but just talking about the acting in the movie specifically. And more specifically, the acting between the two parents in the movie. This has some of the best family acting I have ever seen in any movie. I don't know how they were able to make me feel so uncomfortable whenever... Don't just stand there. There you go. Weirdo. I don't know how they were able to act so well and make me feel so uncomfortable whenever the mom and the dad were fighting. It was just a verbal disagreement. There wasn't any actual fisticuffs or anything. But the way that they were able to portray a couple that loves each other but just simply can't agree on something was insane.
Has ever happened to her is one time she moved into a house where a family was killed. She found out about the murders, all right? So she felt sorry for the little girl, so she painted up her picture.
It felt so genuine. I can't even put into words the amount of uncomfy I felt in the middle of their arguments, or in the middle of their sarcastic sly remarks or whatever, especially when the wife specifically pointed out the fact that his last successful book was 10 years ago.
Kentucky Blood was 10 years ago. What if that was your 15 minutes?
That just felt like such a dig at him and at who he is and what he believes in. And it felt like she felt bad for saying that as well. And I loved how much he seemed to truly care and want to be a father and want to succeed and make his book succeed so he could provide for his family. It was truly amazing to witness, and the acting was phenomenal. Even the kid actors, they did such a good job at portraying children who were dealing with a difficult situation and not really knowing how to cope. The range these actors and actresses had in this movie were amazing. I felt genuine fear when the dad was genuinely terrified. I felt genuine joy when the family was having a good moment. And I felt actual sadness when they were going through sad things. It was so well acted and so well portrayed. I don't have words for it. But that is going to lead us towards a little bit of a darker path, specifically focusing on the scares. I've seen a lot of reviews, I've seen a lot of people saying that this movie is probably one of the best modern horror movies to date. And honestly, I'd have to agree. It had some solid jump scares in it. It had some solid tense building. The soundtrack alone could send shivers down your spine. The way they were able to implement the noises that 8 film projectors make into their music was insane. The eerie, awful, crusty noises they were able to implement felt done right. I guess is the best way to put it. I can't really word it in any other way. And like I said, genuinely good jump scares. If you watch my reaction, you'll see I got a few times. Fuck you! No. It's crazy that they were able to make jump scares not feel cheap. That's one thing that a lot of jump scare movies have, is their scares feel cheap. They feel incomplete. They feel like they don't really have any impact. But this movie's different. It is able to do those jump scares right. It is able to build that tension. It is able to implement the severe anxiety-inducing, stress-building feeling that a lot of people get whenever jump scares happen, but have it actually impact the story and have it actually mean something. Not to mention the way they cut super tense moments with a comedic or sincere moment. It felt like an emotional roller coaster, and it felt like it was building your vulnerability to the next scare. And they did it really, really well.
Daddy, I can't find the bathroom.
They did the thing that I hate most modern movies doing, cutting super serious moments with comedy, and they made me like it. And I'm upset about that a little bit, because that's one thing that I genuinely don't like, is when you take a serious moment and you take away from it. But in this instance, when they were taking away from the serious moments, they were making you feel more vulnerable to the next serious moment. It was insane. I don't know how they did it without like actually manipulating you into feeling these emotions. It's crazy. I loved it. And that's coming from somebody who, in almost every single movie review video I've ever done, I've shit on the idea of, you know, only doing comedy to cut the serious moments down. And that should say something from anybody who knows me or knows my videos or knows my opinions on movies and stuff. I'm not gonna say that it was my most favorite horror movie, just because I'm a major horror buff and I genuinely enjoy a lot of scary movies and a lot of scary franchises. But I do think that this movie, along with the same genre of movies, revitalized the horror community and provided a lot more of an impact and a lot more of a genuine look into the culture of horror, and it made horror a little bit more mainstream. This, The Conjuring, Insidious, all of those supernatural horror movies really revitalized the horror community, and I have to give credit where credit is due, and it did a phenomenal job doing that. If you guys want more information on this movie specifically, I highly recommend watching Dead Meat. It's another YouTube channel here on YouTube. They do a phenomenal job breaking down the movie, breaking down the plot points and all of the critiques they have, and it's highly entertaining. They do a much better job than I could ever do explaining the ins and outs of the movie making process and how this movie was made. But concluding that, it was genuinely good. I really enjoyed it. Now, we're going to get to what, in a lot of horror movies, tends to be their weak point, and it's the overall plot. The overall concept of what's happening. And unlike most horror movies, they didn't miss the mark with this. It genuinely captivated me as to what was going on. For the first half of the movie, I thought it was a slasher. I genuinely thought that we were watching a movie about a serial killer that like trained other serial killers and continued the pattern of killing family. It's crazy. I had no idea until the picture moved.
Murders happened. Holy shit.
I had no idea that this was a supernatural movie, and that is awesome. Also, let's just talk about Bagul for a moment. Bagul the Eater of Children is one of the most metal names I have ever heard for a horror villain. Like, that is the definition of a horror villain movie, is Ghoul, the eater of children. It's insane. I also really like that the plot follows a pretty consistent pattern, and after your first time watching it, if you go back and rewatch it, you're able to see things that you weren't able to see the first time, and like point out how the mystery is slowly being pieced together and slowly making a lot more sense. And it's crazy. I also love the fact that they somehow managed to get Wilson Fisk in here as a scientist and expert on all things occult. I loved that. That was pretty funny. And the ending of the movie was insane. I thought it was well executed, and I mean that literally. The twist in which the daughter was the one that actually like was the killer, because for the longest time I thought it was going to be the son, mainly because he was having the night terrors and stuff. I thought it was going to be the son. I know she was seeing the ghost children, but it didn't like really impact me in the same way that the kid was having the night terrors, and I thought it was going to be him. Turned out it was her, and the way she killed her family was... That's a lot. That is a pretty aggressive way of killing your family. And I know that there's a Sinister 2. I might save that for next year or maybe later on in the future of my channel. But if you guys want me to watch it, I totally can. Just later. I've got a few videos already planned out and a few movies that I'm wanting to react to leading up to the holidays. So I guess that leads us to the final chapter in this video. I'm gonna start this final chapter in the video off with the score for the movie. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. They did an amazing job. I thought it was a really great movie, and I thought it was well worth the scares, because putting aside the amount of scares that are in the movie, it just genuinely was a good movie. The story was well executed. The cinematography was done beautifully. The soundtrack was exceptionally good. And now that I'm listing things, I think I'm going to up the score to a 9 out of a 10, because why not? Why not? It's my video. It's my score. I could do that. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on the movie are, and let me know what you guys would score the movie yourselves. Also, let me know if there is any like specific thing you want me to review. It doesn't even have to be movie related. Do you want me to review a game? I can review a game. You want me to remove you want me to review I'm gonna leave that in. You want me to review a TV show? I can totally do that as well. But I guess that'll... How long is this video? It's plenty long enough. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.